Hello everyone, welcome back to another Friday and another casual review. Draven is the topic of today's casual review, and you might notice as well, not only am I playing Draven, I'm not going to say it like that the whole video, but you notice my whole team is comprised of Noxus. It's because me and my friends, just out of the blue, we've been trying to do the Globetrotter achievements, which is just playing a full 5 stack of all champs in the same region, and I thought, why not do two birds with one stone? Why not do Noxus and get my casual review this week with Draven? Oh, last time, okay, I swear. You know what also won't be the last time? Fed art section is a very small amount this time, understandably so. I feel, I'll talk about it a bit in this video, but I feel Draven is very restrained in what he could be, and overall, well, an iconic design, not super interesting, so I understand why most people probably didn't want to make art of this one. Maybe the whole trend has become stale. I don't know. Regardless, thank you for the few fellas who do. You're awesome. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, fellas. Okay, this one's gonna be very difficult to commentate over, I can tell already. One, because I'm playing Draven. I'm not very good at Draven. Very weird to try and catch the axes and commentate at the same time. I struggle to even think about it, to be honest. And not only that, I'm going to be laning against Pantheon, I'm sure. There he is. You might ask, why am I playing Draven mid? Well, I don't want to play ADC. It's as simple as that. I feel like if I'm in a situation where I have to play a bot lane champion, I'd be playing support, because I can just relax or roam a bit, but Draven, I don't think you can play Draven support, but, you know, Draven mid, maybe those will work out. So, let's go over the lore a bit real quick, because he's got some similarities to Darius, just like him. He was born in Basilish, which is a city not owned by Noxus at the time, but he was the much younger, or I think only slightly younger, really, but overall the more overconfident brother of the two. And after being inducted into the Noxian army after Basilish was taken over by Noxus, he, like Darius, rose up the ranks to become a very renowned soldier, though while Darius was very fond of it and settled down into his position as a soldier, Draven got bored very quickly. Draven was a very selfish, very overconfident person, so he got very bored of the soldier lifestyle and wanted more personal glory. He was fine. Ah, fuck. You guys thought I was going to cut to my death, didn't you? So eventually, after quitting, or we don't know if he got fired or he got disbanded or whatever from Darius's Legion, he became, or he landed a gig, rather, with the Reckoning Arena. Now, at this time, the Reckoning Arena was not like how it is today. At this current moment, the Reckoning Pits were mainly meant there for execution. Okay, the Reckoning Pits were mainly there at the start just to punish criminals and settle house disputes. So they were very bloody, very violent, pretty much always ended in death, and was just there. Execution. That's pretty much where the glorious executioner comes from for Draven, although that wouldn't kick in till later. But the way these Reckoning Pits have been operating is the way they have been for centuries, so the common Noxian citizen got bored of it rather quickly. It was already on the downfall when Draven was first inducted into the Reckoning Pits to become an overseer, but it got bored and it just wasn't enough for Draven. He craved the attention that he wasn't getting, and he fell into a deep depressive state. And it wasn't until General Jericho Swain happened upon him that things would get turned around. Jericho Swain offered him a new seat at the table, so to speak, for helping him overthrow Borum Darkwill, and that he did. Borum Darkwill was overthrown and murdered. This is all shocking lore to you guys, I know. I'm sure you've never heard of Borum Darkwill dying before. But not all the nobles were okay with Jericho Swain's rise to power, and as such were sentenced to execution in the arena. And one of these nobles, mid-execution, managed to escape their confines and tried to run away. Draven, out of instinct, leaped down from the balcony, threw his axes, split the man's skull in half, and, you know, he stopped him in a very spectacular, showboaty way. And the crowd who were watching it happen, they loved it. He lifted up his axes in excitement. The crowds cheered for him. He loved it. The attention he finally wanted. Let's see if I can get this. They finally wanted. It was back. He was so happy. And he was presented with an ultimatum. What if we changed the Reckoning Arena? What if instead of just using it for purely political purposes, we used it for entertainment? So maybe still some death in there, but not nearly as much. Have some people in there that are constants, like Draven, and then we see some others like Kato the Armed, Shiraza, Vaseed, the Reckoners. they're celebrities. They come into the arena, they fight, they do battle, they'll do a lot of damage, but usually they won't kill. It's mainly there for entertainment. It's literally, it's why I put that in the every champion's lore in one sentence thing. It's R-rated WWE. In simplistic terms, Draven is basically a wrestler. He's a showboaty, overconfident fighter who just adores the attention of the crowd. That's not to say there aren't Reckoners that aren't there by choice. I mean, look at Alistar. That's a peak example. But usually, the Reckoners that aren't there by choice, those are the ones that are cannon fodder to actually die. It would be a bad idea to let Draven or Kato or Vaseed die because they're celebrities. Why would you want them? They're the reason that the citizens come to the arena. And that's what we're left with right now, his current lore state. He is just the glorious executioner, the head honcho of the Reckoning Arena, supervising everything and participating whenever he can because he loves the attention. He's technically one of the most famous people in Noxus, and his only goal is to become one of the most famous people in the world. Now, I guess technically it's also part of his lore that he was affected by the Ruination. That's technically part of it, that he went in to fight Viego and lost instantly and then became Ruinated, which I can't talk about Ruination more. I'm going to have a hernia. But the thing about Draven is he is a very old champion. I think when I talked about Darius in the previous episode, it was a few weeks ago now, but the aesthetic of Noxus was built primarily around Darius, and you would think they'd include a little bit of that with Draven as well because they are brothers, but I don't think Draven has aged nearly as well as Darius has, and that could be argued he's not supposed to look as Noxian as Darius because he is a showman, he's an entertainer. He's meant to be some crazy flamboyant wrestler. I think that's not a very fair critique to make because then you couldn't use that critique against Seraphine. If you made Draven too over the top, if you made if you made Draven too over the top and too eccentric and too colorful, he wouldn't look Noxian at all. At least right now he looks a little bit Noxian. But if you made him too much of that wrestler stereotype, you'd lose his region identity, and then at that point, he'd just be male Seraphine. So I like that he has the little bit of Noxus in him still, but I do think it's designed for a person who's supposed to be very outgoing, very eccentric. His design is very restrictive. That's not to say that its design is bad. It's not really bad at all. It's fine. It's serviceable. I think the Awakened cinematic design is bad. That one is so drab, so plain, so muted. He's pretty much all black. His belt's a little bit better looking, but other than that, I really dislike that Awakened design. It removes a lot of the personality. The blue I'm not a fan of, though. I think the blue, not only does it really contrast with Noxian aesthetic, but it just doesn't fit his character. Especially a very bright, unintimidating blue like this. It's a teal more so than anything. I would prefer if it was like a bright purple or even like a dark purple. Have that intimidation factor and the kind of that darkness, always kind of an evil guy, but have some more eccentric colors that fit better with Noxian aesthetic. I think purple fits so much better than blue. I mean, just look at Grape Juice Vladimir. There is some things about his design that is great. I think we all know the mustache. Oh no. Fucking Demacians. We all know that the mustache is the most iconic part about him. That's why I think it's so funny. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the censored art in Legends of Runeterra, where they removed not only the woman that he was holding in the art, which is probably even funnier, but they removed his mustache. They made him like a full beard. Fucking Demacians. But the big mustache, the shit-eating grin, the crazy hairstyle. He wears a little crown, like a little tiara almost. Like, that's great. I think that helps accentuate just how much of a piece of shit overconfident guy he is, and I love that. I don't know if you guys will agree with me on this, but I think making an egomaniac character is very difficult to do right. Because overconfidence can be very fun and very endearing, but it also can be very annoying. Kiana, sorry, what was that? I think if you're going to make a character really overconfident, they either need to be so powerful to be able to back up that overconfidence, or they're actually not that powerful at all, and their overconfidence is just compensating for something. And Draven is more of the latter. Draven is really not that strong. It even showed in his bio, when he was younger, Darius would have to finish most of the fights that Draven started. I think that's why Draven doesn't bother me as much as Kiana does, because, well, he is overconfident and obnoxious in how self-absorbed he is, just like Kiana. Draven is played for laughs, because Draven is pathetic. At the end of the day, I mean, oh no, okay. I'm gonna mention Ruination one last time, okay? But Draven in Ruination is meant to be played for laughs. He is pathetic. He goes to fight Viego and gets defeated instantaneously. He barely puts up any fight when the Sentinels assemble together to fight him. He's just a pathetic, washed-up guy who doesn't really know how to fight as well as people thinks he does. He is just so overconfident that it masks his insecurities, and for that, I kind of like it. Like, also, just why Draven? Viego. Like, you're in Noxus. You could have overtaken, like, Vladimir or LeBlanc or Swain or Sion, or, like, there's any number of infinitely more powerful Noxians you could have overtaken, but you picked Draven? Draven? He's just a total pushover in that regard, and well, I don't like playing him. Can't deny he's very funny to listen to. He's got a great personality. I mean, even whenever I think of Draven, my favorite moments from Draven, I just think of his voice line that he has with Teemo in Legends of Runeterra.
Reporting in.
What the is that?
I love that one so much. He's just egomaniac piece of shit who you want to punch in the face, and he often does. That's exactly what I want for a character like that. As far as gameplay, I am not a fan, personally, but I'm not a fan of many ADCs in general. Shocking, I know. Though I think his mechanic with catching the axes is very cool. Fucking Demacians! I think catching the axes is very cool, and in my opinion, one of the most skill-expressive AD carries in the game in that regard. You actually have to properly space not just yourself, but the axes. It's something you have to pay very close attention to, and I like that. I'm not a huge fan of AD carries like Vayne or like Kai'Sa, who have moves that help reposition and kite for you. You don't have to actually think about it. The character does it themselves. Draven has a very high skill ceiling, and I kind of like that. Even if I don't like playing the character itself, I can appreciate that aspect about him. And he doesn't feel so overbearing, right? Like, if I get caught out... Fuck! If I get caught out by Jarvan or Neferi or Pantheon or any of these characters with point-and-click studs, what am I gonna do? Got him! How much money did I make? I made 900 gold? Damn! I've been doing better than I thought I would. I thought I'd do horrible, especially playing Draven mid versus Pantheon, but this has actually not been that bad. Maybe Draven mid is the secret technology. Avoid the fact that we are losing severely. We're down... We're down a lot of kills right now. Honestly, this might be the shortest casual champion review in a while, because I don't really know what else to say about Draven. Oh, I guess his skins. Draven doesn't have very many good ones, I think. I mean, Draven is memey and funny, sure. You know, you put a big Draven head on top of Draven, and I love Draven Day. I thought that was such a stupid troll that Riot did. Even if we didn't get Earth that year, it was just, I love those little April Fool's things. And then this year, we got the hat stacking. Like, do more stupid 1 day, 2 day April Fool's stuff like that, right? I love that so much. But yeah, I think most of Draven's skins are kind of ass. Like, Ruined Draven is just really not that good. Mecha Draven, they gave him heels for some reason, which looks really weird. He looks so dainty and frail for a mech. Doesn't work that well for me. Technically, isn't Primetime Draven considered a legendary? I don't think it's priced as one. I think it's priced the same as Fiddlesticks. Maybe if Draven got an ASU someday, which is never going to happen, they would make it at proper legendary or like mid-tier legendary quality, like with Surprise Party Fiddle. Shit. Oh, but Santa Draven. Oh, that's the worst one. I think Santa Draven is easily his worst skin. It's... Why? Why? He doesn't even wear the Santa beard. It's still his normal mustache. I would have loved to see Draven with a big Santa beard. And I guess he's like, oh, I'm Santa, but I'm actually a greedy piece of shit. No, it doesn't work. I hate it. It should have been Ornn, man. It should have been Ornn. I'm still... Where's my Santa Ornn? Oh, one last skin I do want. Beast Hunter. I don't know how many of you fellas that watch this channel like Monster Hunter, but I love Monster Hunter. To see Beast Hunter do this random one-off 750 skin, so lame. Give Beast Hunters another shot, man. I want a true Monster Hunter inspired skin line, maybe in celebration of Monster Hunter 20th. Monster Hunter 20th anniversary next year. Maybe Monster Hunter 6. That would be nice. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Draven. Just a little heads up, actually, for next week before I forget. I have been doing this series in alphabetical order since its inception. I am fairly certain, as of recording this video, that we are going to hear about Briar very soon. I'm not sure if she is actually going to be revealed, but I'm pretty sure we know that she's supposed to be revealed before the next dev update, and the next dev update is supposed to be close to the end of the month. So I imagine we're going to see Briar, which is a B champion. So alphabetically would be closer. Oh my god. Alphabetically would be closer than what would be next week, which I believe is Echo. So instead, I think if doing Echo next week, we are going to just do Briar. We're going to do Briar the week she releases on PvE. I'm going to play her for the first time, talk about her... What the fuck was that? Talk about her lore, what I think of her design when she's revealed, and then let's go from there. It'd be like a cool little first impressions type thing, and I'll actually be able to get a video on a champion out when it's still very relevant. That will be a first, won't it? Well, the game seems to be ending now, so that was a bit of a slaughter. I did pretty okay in mid, which I'm pretty pleased with my performance considering I hate playing this character, so yeah. Alright fellas, I'll see you next week for Briar instead of Echo. Until next time, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time, okay? Draven!